Hello, 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 my loves. Welcome to EQ with Jah, this guy. So, I was sitting and thinking about something. I had an epiphany and it goes, bing, and it's like, wow, brain, I love you. And when I get new thoughts, if it's a place of remembrance from something I studied, that's my brain. If I'm just sitting and reminiscing on a thought and an emotion, and all of a sudden, boom, I get an epiphany or a clear vision of why, that's spirit. So, what I wanted to let people know is there's a lot of times because it happens, and I've seen it done so long, and it's a divisive tool that's used in the intellectual realm, science world, all that stuff, which is humans, just because you are able to think of a thought and write it down does not own the thought to you. What does that mean? A lot of times we have to remember that the body is smart. The body is adaptable. The brain is smart. The brain is adaptable. Everyone has a brain. Not everyone uses it, which is why we have to say, why do some people's brains retain more than others? It's not about if you actually understand what you're talking about. It's about if you actually understand what you're feeling. I've done math. Math frustrates me. Doesn't mean I can't do it, but it doesn't make me feel good. In that moment, that's a realization of saying, okay, my body is adaptable, but my soul does not resonate. Why am I talking about resonating with the soul and the mind and thoughts and things that come to us that we believe are our own thoughts? Well, a lot of the times when I call it, we do spirit talk. Spirit talk is the soul, is the innate knowing, is the remembrance of a past life of something that we just out of nowhere. Why do I know this? Why do I know this feeling, this emotion, this language, this technique, this whatever? That is the intelligence of the soul. That is the intelligence of the remembrance of your cellular makeup, your body remembering where it came from and what it was built to do. This is how they integrate and interchange all the time. So I've met people where you talk to them, they actually believe that the things that they come up with. Now, I heard someone say, I'm going to pick on someone, they know who they are, but I'm not going to say their name. They were using a phrase that was like, you call it spirit, I call it, this intellectual something breaking down. So when I tell people, if you take away all of the words and the titles and the definitions and the books that someone handed you, how would you know the difference between spirit talking to you, your own brain talking to you, and your ego knowing what it needs to do for itself to make the two come together as a whole? Right? Remember, there's people who live out in the woods, tribes, everything, who grew up this way, never picked up a book, but they're the most intelligent beings on this earth. This is because their soul is intelligent and their body is adaptable. The body remembers what it's supposed to do, the soul does the rest. This is why it's important to the most, again, intelligent people, they didn't even move their bodies. You know what I mean? Moving your body doesn't mean that you understand what's happening to you. Knowing that you thought it in your head doesn't mean it's your thought. Knowing that you said it doesn't mean they're your words. What it truly means is that you're able to stay aligned with what your body is asking for and what your soul is asking for because it knows that there's something that you're supposed to do beyond the knowing of what you're taught in this 3D world. A lot of times we walk into this world and we went to this school, we went to this place. I mean, Harvard and Yale, they're the most well-known schools because of elitism, but that doesn't make you smart because you went to Yale. That doesn't even make you brilliant. Unfortunately, the saddest part of all of that is that system that was created for people to be elitists, they buy their ways into those titles. So this is something where I want you to remember when you start meeting someone who's like, I read and I know. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't know no more than the next person who told you or the next person who wrote it down. Now, the person who is the co-creator to the universe who puts the information out there, if Spirit says, Jawan, make this video, just like now. If Spirit says, Jawan, say these words, I say it. Because I know Jawan was sitting there doing nothing. Jawan was sitting there on TikTok. Y'all know, follow my story. And then out of nowhere, Boom! Do you think that your body is your body because you have it? Or do you understand that your body is an organism that works for me, the universe? And then I send it signals to remember, and I send it messages to write down, and I give it the energy to keep functioning, and I give it the sources of life around it to keep producing, right? So, we as humans have to stop thinking that because we created a thing out of what we assume is nothing, it doesn't make us the owners or sole proprietors of that sacred information. This is something that flows through every generation, every day, all the time, as we communicate and we give each other more didactic settings to teach each other. This is a classroom for me. Welcome to my classroom. Because my thing is, you don't need to go sit down in front of someone who studied something and read something and they still don't know how to apply it to their own lives, right? Smart is adaptable. Intelligence is learning how to break it down, conceptualize, and make it something that's now uniformly workable for everyone around you so that the species itself, as a collective whole, can understand where we're going, right? If we're stuck in a spot of, well, I know, so therefore I don't need to do any more, well, that right there is the ego moment of taking over the soul's journey. And the soul will not complete its journey if the ego believes that it's actually in charge. Now, the best example that I can give is Kanye West. I think the man in his mind, the way he breaks things down, is intelligent. His soul is intelligent. His ego, his flesh, he thinks he's coming up with the ideas, which makes him look erratic and crazy and hyper about certain topics that he decides to speak on. Because when you become to a point of, let's play this game, you grow up rich, you grow up poor. Do you think somebody has more emotional balance because they grew up rich and poor? Right? Some might say yes, some might say no. We've already established that having money doesn't make you emotionally stable, and not having money doesn't make you in balance. It's just the understanding of conditioning the environment that you're in to know that it matches the alignment of your soul. If your soul is completely happy with what it's doing, it's going to continue on that journey with or without the ego. But you, as the ego, have the free will to choose to be a part of that journey so that you don't have so many tower moments. You don't have so many issues where everything is just knocked down because you weren't prepared for what could happen because you thought that your body, your planning, all the control, all of this physical control. Well, I saved and I planned and I thought I was ready. Baby, the universe has proven over and over it can take from you whatever it gives to you. Okay? You own nothing. I own nothing. I don't own this hat, these clothes, nothing. Something can come and strip it away just like that. I bought it, yes, but I don't really own it because it doesn't matter what we believe we control. What matters is what we know controls us. And this is when you allow your body to elevate. This is what we call attunement, alignment, transformation, all of this. Then your body becomes intelligent with the soul. Then when you speak and you acknowledge your soul and you speak and acknowledge your body, then spirit is like, yes, thank you. I have a clean vessel that's not trying to distort my message. I have a clean vessel that's not trying to convince themselves that anytime I whisper something in their ear, they're going to go take credit for it as if this theirs. And then when they run out of creativity and they run out of a space to come from to go back to that source, spirit's like, no, because you told me that you were going to be a part of helping me show that we are a bigger purpose. And instead, you became a condescending asshole who only cares about their looks and their house and their car and all of this. Do you understand where I'm going with this? There's nothing wrong with having those things, but know that spirit is blessing you with those things. Spirit is giving you something to understand that you are following the path that I asked for. Again, it does not matter if you believe the person that is getting blessed is an asshole, a good person or not. If they are doing what their soul tells them to do, and they are listening to their spirit say, yep, this is what you're meant to do, then the ego is going to gain the rewards every single time, period. Okay? If you say, this don't feel right, okay, well, for you to know it doesn't feel right, know that. And then you act on it. Don't just sit on it. What's the point of sitting on something that don't feel right? Because guess what that turns into? Anxiety, stress, headaches, pain. It ain't for you to hold on to. It's for you to correct, adjust, or pay attention to. Because our body is an antenna. Our body knows what it needs to do to survive. We are intellectually aligned with the cellular makeup of every single thing on this earth, down to the last drop of water, to the last drop of dirt. It's in our DNA, okay? So when we start remembering that we are an intelligent species, yes, but we're not more intelligent than our source. And our source is still something that I said this, and I've said this many times again. We do not create the water that we drink. I don't care what anyone says. I have yet to see anyone say, I created water out of nothing. Hasn't happened. I haven't met one person that said, I created earth out of nothing. Hasn't happened. We recycled things that can make earth, but you didn't create earth. You didn't create the air we breathe. So remember, we are a vessel, a tool that is meant to be utilized for something greater than ourselves. So that next time you get that aha moment, or you get a moment of solace on your soul, like, why am I sad? Because, baby, you weren't happy when you did that. Thank you, Spirit. That's Spirit giving you an answer. When people go to therapy, it's because they need someone to reawaken their spirit, to re-guide them back to their journey. It's not just to go and talk to get stuff off your chest, or try to manipulate the therapist to see if they can't get into your head. That's some ego game. At the end of the day, whoever you choose to talk to, or however you get your healing, make sure you understand that you're trusting what your body is asking, because your body knows what it needs, okay? The soul knows what to do. The body knows what it needs. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm horny. The body knows. The ego will always be hedonistic. So accept that. So that's when I say any thought that comes to my mind, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm so smart. I thought that. No, I'm not. I wasn't thinking that last week until I read something that inspired me to think of a memory that took me back to a time I could trace to say, that's where that happened. And the only reason I am able to do that is because Spirit allowed me to see that I am greater than this flesh. I'm greater than my name. I'm greater than my existence, because my existence is replicatable. The soul and spirit will go wherever it wants at any time, and does it all the time, because when we are incarnated into this body on this earth, a spirit came into us, regardless of how we want to say humans and animals, and I studied and researched. Great. You still have not told me why we are alive and how. Not how we're alive and where we came from, but why. What's my purpose and how? Who put me here? Who put this source of energy into this body? Okay, so start thinking about all of these things that correlate back to the source of yourself. If you start allowing yourself to step out of a sympathetic place of living, which is a 3D world of being given what you're told, and you go back into your ether world, which is where everything is created inside of you, what your organs do and your mind and everything does without your permission, because it's all involuntary. You don't control nothing. Remember that. The only voluntary thing you have is to choose to speak up and articulate it through your vibrations of your voice, or writing it down, or whatever way Spirit chooses to allow you to be a vessel. Just remember that intelligence comes with listening. Intelligence comes with empathy. Intelligence comes with loving yourself through a situation that you know you were never prepared for, illy prepared for it, and then you somehow found a way to conquer it. Still love yourself, forgive the situation, move on in a healthy way, and then pass it on to the next. This is how we get to love. I love you. Have a wonderful day. Again, as always, I do Spirit Talk. Spirit Talk tells me what it wants to tell me. I have no idea where this video was going or who was resonating for, but I hope it reaches you well. I love you. Check me out as always, Instagram, IG, TikTok, YouTube, as well as my website, episanity.org. And I will talk to you later, loves. Besos.